future, continued advances in vaccine technology hold the promise of even greater achievements in public health, offering hope for a world where preventable diseases are no longer a threat to human well-being. Just as vaccines have become a fundamental right and necessity for people around the world, we must continue to ensure that future technologies, such as artificial intelligence, are also harnessed for the common good. By ensuring that access to life-saving innovations is equitable and universal, we can continue to improve global health and well-being for generations to come. Chapter 30. Electric Power, Late 19th Century. Lighting up lives. In the late 19th century, a revolutionary force emerged that would transform every aspect of human life: electric power. While the Industrial Revolution had already redefined production and transportation through steam power, the advent of electricity marked the beginning of an entirely new era, one that would illuminate homes, energize industries, and dramatically improve quality of life for billions. Inventors such as Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla pioneered the development and widespread distribution of electric power, leading to profound changes in how people lived, worked, and entertained themselves. With the advent of electric power, the world shifted from a reliance on labor-intensive manual processes and unpredictable natural energy sources like fire and wind, to a future powered by an efficient, controllable, and versatile energy source. The widespread availability of electricity didn't just bring light to homes and businesses, it revolutionized work processes, dramatically reduced household labor, and powered the rapid urbanization and industrial growth of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Electric power became the engine of modernization, fundamentally raising living standards and increasing comfort, convenience, and leisure time for ordinary people. In this chapter, we will explore the rise of electric power, its introduction into everyday life, and the extraordinary impact it had on transforming homes, workplaces, cities, and entertainment. The dawn of electric power, Edison and Tesla. While the phenomenon of electricity had been studied by scientists for centuries, the practical use of electric power for lighting and energy production didn't emerge until the late 19th century. The early experiments of pioneers such as Benjamin Franklin and Alessandro Volta laid the groundwork, but it was the work of Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla that brought electric power to the masses. Thomas Edison, widely regarded as one of history's greatest inventors, is best known for developing the incandescent light bulb and creating the first practical system for generating and distributing electric power. In 1879, Edison introduced his light bulb, a safer, more practical alternative to gas lamps and candles, which were common at the time but often caused fires or produced harmful fumes. Edison's invention was not just about the light bulb itself. He understood the need for an integrated system that could generate, distribute, and deliver electricity to homes and businesses. In 1882, he built the first electric power plant on Pearl Street in New York City, marking the beginning of widespread urban electrification. While Edison's work focused on direct current, DC, electricity, another inventor, Nikola Tesla, was simultaneously developing the technology for alternating current, AC, which allowed electric power to be transmitted over much longer distances. Edison and Tesla's rivalry, known as the War of the Current, centered on whether DC or AC electricity would become the standard for power distribution. Ultimately, Tesla's AC system, championed by George Westinghouse, won out, as it was more efficient for long-distance transmission. AC power allowed electricity to be distributed across cities and even across regions, making it more accessible to people far beyond the urban centers. The Niagara Falls power plant, completed in 1895 and designed by Tesla, was a landmark achievement in the use of AC power. It generated electricity for the nearby city of Buffalo, New York, and marked the beginning of large-scale power generation. This system demonstrated that electricity could be harnessed on a massive scale and distributed efficiently over great distances, setting the stage for the electrification of entire nations. Lighting up homes and workplaces. One of the most immediate and visible impacts of electric power was the ability to light homes, workplaces, and streets with unprecedented efficiency and safety. Before the widespread use of electricity, lighting was provided by gas lamps, candles, or oil lamps, all of which were inefficient, dangerous, and expensive. Electric lighting not only reduced the risk of fires, but also provided brighter, more reliable illumination, allowing people to extend their working and social hours well into the night. In homes, electric light bulbs transformed daily routines. No longer limited by the availability of daylight or the hazards of open flames, families could now read, work, and socialize after dark. Electric lighting also made homes safer by eliminating the risk of gas leaks, which were common with gas-pounded lamps, and significantly improved air quality by removing the smoke and soot produced by burning fuels. In factories and workshops, electric lighting enabled longer work hours and increased productivity, as businesses were no longer constrained by the limitations of natural light. Factories that had once shut down at dusk could now operate through the night, fueling the growth of the industrial economy. The ability to keep factories running around the clock contributed to the rise of mass production, making goods cheaper and more widely available. Street lighting was another critical advancement made possible by electric power. In the late 19th century, cities began installing electric street lamps, which provided a safer and more effective means of illuminating public spaces. Electric streetlights not only reduced crime and accidents in urban areas, but also contributed to a sense of modernity and progress. The sight of brightly lit streets at night became a symbol of urbanization and the modern city, attracting new businesses and residents to electrified areas. Electricity in the home, reducing labor and improving comfort. Beyond lighting, the introduction of electric power into the home revolutionized domestic life in ways that would have been unimaginable just a few decades earlier. With electricity came the development of household appliances that drastically reduced the amount of physical labor required for daily chores, making life easier and more comfortable for millions of people, particularly women, who were often responsible for the bulk of housework. Before the widespread availability of electric appliances, household tasks such as washing clothes, cleaning floors, and cooking meals were labor-intensive and time-consuming. Women would spend hours scrubbing clothes by hand, hauling water, and cooking over open flames or wood-burning stoves. These activities consumed the majority of their day, leaving little time for leisure, education, or paid work outside the home. With the advent of electric appliances, the landscape of domestic work changed dramatically. The electric washing machine, which became widely available in the early 20th century, significantly reduced the time and effort required to do laundry. Likewise, electric irons, vacuum cleaners, and electric stoves revolutionized other aspects of housekeeping, making it easier to clean, cook, and maintain a home. Electric refrigerators, introduced in the 1920s, not only preserved food more effectively, but also changed the way people shopped for and stored groceries, reducing the need for daily trips to the market. The arrival of these appliances also had profound social implications. As domestic chores became less labor-intensive, women in particular were able to spend less time on housework and more time pursuing education, employment, and civic engagement. The rise of electricity thus played a role in women's empowerment, helping to create opportunities for women to participate more fully in public life and the workforce. In addition to reducing household labor, electricity improved the comfort and convenience of homes in countless other ways. The development of electric heating and cooling systems allowed people to regulate the temperature of their homes, making them more comfortable year-round. Electric power also made possible the widespread use of radios, telephones, and other communication technologies, which connected people to the wider world and brought entertainment and information into the home. Electrification of industry and business. While the impact of electricity on the home was profound, its effects on industry and business were equally transformative. The availability of electric power allowed factories to operate more efficiently and at a larger scale, driving economic growth and innovation across multiple sectors. One of the most significant advantages of electric power in industrial settings was the ability to replace steam engines with electric motors. Steam engines, which had powered factories during the early stages of the Industrial Revolution, were bulky, expensive, and required constant maintenance. Electric motors, by contrast, were more compact, efficient, and easier to install and operate. They could be used to power individual machines or entire production lines, increasing flexibility and productivity in manufacturing. Electricity also enabled factories to be built in locations that were not dependent on natural resources such as water for power. This allowed industries to expand into new areas, particularly in urban centers, where electricity was readily available. The electrification of industry fueled the growth of large-scale manufacturing, enabling companies to produce goods more cheaply and efficiently. As production costs fell, the prices of consumer goods also dropped, making products such as textiles, clothing, and household items more affordable for ordinary people. The impact of electrification extended beyond manufacturing. In offices, electricity made it possible to operate telephones, typewriters, and electric lighting, transforming the nature of office work and improving productivity. Electric power also revolutionized communication systems, allowing for the development of telephone networks that connected businesses, governments, and individuals across vast distances. The rise of electrified communications laid the groundwork for the modern information economy, where the ability to transmit data and communicate rapidly is essential to business and commerce. Urban electrification and the growth of cities. The widespread availability of electric power had a profound impact on the growth of cities in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. As urban areas expanded, the demand for electricity grew, driving the development of larger and more efficient power plants to meet the needs of both businesses and residents. Cities that embraced electrification, such as New York, London, and Chicago, became bustling centers of commerce, industry, and culture. Electrified street lights made cities safer and more navigable at night, while electric streetcars and subways transformed public transportation, allowing people to commute more easily between their homes and workplaces. The ability to provide reliable power to skyscrapers, factories, and public infrastructure enabled cities to grow vertically as well as horizontally, leading to the development of modern urban skylines. The rise of electrified cities also had significant social and cultural implications. Urban electrification brought about new forms of entertainment and leisure that were previously unavailable or limited to daylight hours. The development of electric theaters, movie houses, and amusement parks made it possible for people to enjoy recreational activities in the evenings, fostering the growth of a vibrant nightlife in urban areas. Electricity also revolutionized sports and public events. The installation of electric lights in stadiums and arenas allowed for nighttime sporting events, which drew larger crowds and increased participation in professional and amateur sports. Electric scoreboards, sound systems, and television broadcasts further enhanced the spectator experience, making sports and entertainment more accessible to people across the social spectrum. Electricity and entertainment, radio, television, and beyond. Perhaps one of the most enduring legacies of electrification is its impact on entertainment. The development of electric radios in the early 20th century brought music, news, and drama into homes, connecting families to the world beyond their immediate surroundings. Radio quickly became a central part of daily life, offering both information and entertainment to people across the globe. By the 1930s, millions of households owned radios, and radio broadcasts became a powerful tool for shaping public opinion, sharing news, and spreading cultural trends. The advent of television in the mid-20th century further expanded the role of electricity in entertainment. Like radio, television revolutionized how people consumed information and entertainment, bringing visual media into the home. Televised broadcasts of sports events, political speeches, and cultural programs became staples of modern life, further integrating electricity into the fabric of daily routines. Electricity also powered the rise of the music industry, from the development of electric instruments like the electric guitar to the widespread use of electric recording equipment. The electrification of sound allowed musicians to create new styles and genres, while recording technology made it possible to produce and distribute music on a mass scale. By the mid-20th century, electric power had transformed the way music was produced, consumed, and shared around the world. The global expansion of electric power. As electric power systems were developed and refined in industrialized nations, the benefits of electrification spread across the globe. In the early 20th century, many countries began investing in electrification projects to power industries, homes, and public infrastructure. Electrification became a symbol of modernity and progress, as nations recognized the importance of electricity for economic development and social welfare. The spread of electric power also played a crucial role in the decolonization and modernization efforts of the mid-20th century. In newly independent nations across Africa, Asia, and Latin America, governments prioritized electrification as a means of improving living standards and boosting economic growth. Access to electricity allowed these nations to build industries, improve healthcare, and expand educational opportunities, lifting millions of people out of poverty. The expansion of rural electrification projects in the United States and other countries in the early 20th century further demonstrated the transformative impact of electricity. In rural areas that had previously been isolated from the benefits of industrialization, the arrival of electric power brought new opportunities for farming, business, and education. The electrification of rural communities reduced the disparities between urban and rural areas, improving the quality of life for millions of people. The environmental and social implications of electrification. While the widespread availability of electric power has brought countless benefits, it has also raised important questions about sustainability and social equity. The generation of electricity, particularly from fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas, has contributed to environmental degradation and climate change, prompting calls for cleaner and more sustainable energy sources. In recent decades, the development of renewable energy technologies such as solar power, wind power, and hydroelectric power has offered promising alternatives to traditional fossil fuel-based power generation. These renewable sources of electricity have the potential to reduce the environmental impact of electrification while ensuring that future generations can continue to benefit from the transformative power of electricity. At the same time, access to electricity remains unevenly distributed across the globe. While industrialized nations enjoy nearly universal access to electric power, many developing countries still struggle to provide reliable electricity to all their citizens. The challenge of energy poverty, where people lack access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services, remains a critical issue in parts of Sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, and other regions. During these disparities is essential to ensuring that the benefits of electrification are shared by all. An extension. The development and widespread availability of electric power in the late 19th century transformed every aspect of human life, from the home and workplace to entertainment and urban living. Electricity brought light and energy to cities, powered industries and businesses, and made daily tasks more convenient and less labor-intensive. The rise of electric appliances, transportation systems, and communication technologies improved the quality of life for millions of people, raising living standards and creating new opportunities for economic and social progress. The legacy of electrification is profound.